I always thought I was doing really good mathematics with my kids. I was very proud of what I had done. And then I came here and realized I was checking a lot of boxes, but not really going to the depth of the understanding of what we were doing and why we were doing it, even though I really felt like I was doing those things. So this has been transformational.
Before, when I taught math, I was always really stressed about it. It was a subject that I felt I wasn't good at teaching, and I definitely wasn't excited to plan for it or to teach it. And after the training, I am so excited to get into my classroom, to start teaching the math block, thought exercises, and I also believe that my students are more capable than I ever thought they would be.
So I think my experience at the Number Lab has been overwhelmingly positive, and I think it's given me space to kind of rethink how I do things in the classroom and see a number of different approaches that are really valuable.
As much for the mathematics, really like keep your math learner hat on for a little bit. We'll talk about the teaching, but first gather, because there's some really good mathematical data.
I'm in my 26th year teaching now, so I've got a lot of baggage that I brought, you know, that has been changed and shifted from my experiences here.
I teach at a school where the SEL perspective is foremost, and it's the first thing that we think about when we're teaching. Our perspective is every child is known. And so when you teach math through the lens of the Number Lab and this idea that we're all a learning community, we're a group of mathematicians together exploring these concepts, it really does allow every child to have a voice. It does build in some social safety, the idea that it's okay to take a risk. And even if your logic is flawed, we're gonna figure out where and show you how to get to the place we wanna be.
The understanding between where my students were and where those students were, even though they had, for the most part, been delivered the same content, was night and day. The longevity of understanding that concept and being able to still manipulate it a year later and not have to then, okay, we're gonna do a quick reteach, and which is what I was used to having to do, because they would, you know, lose that that thinking. And they weren't losing thinking because they weren't learning procedures. They were understanding mathematics.
I was a math teacher as well, and unfortunately I can look back at my teaching years and say I did a really great job of teaching skills and procedures. And Number Lab is about teaching the conceptual understanding of math. It felt very different when you got to go stand at a board and talk with another person and kind of think back and forth about, is this the right thing to do? Am I thinking correctly? Can I explain what I'm doing and thinking? The kids became much more engaged. It was amazing.
The impact I've seen in my students is their ability to collaborate with each other. The power of communication and how they are able to listen to each other, how they learn from each other, and how that builds community within our classroom. So a lot of classroom management issues I didn't see as much because they work with each other all the time. They did kind of hold each other accountable for, you need to learn certain things so that we can do this together. So it's really powerful. This professional development was very different from most because it was so interactive. We were students, so we interacted with each other, we went to the board, we tried problems out, we felt what our students feel, and that will make our teaching so much better.